I'm Stacey Summerow, and today I have a super exciting invitation for you. I want to invite you on the God's Adventure Awaits pilgrimage to the Holy Land, January 2022. You can come with me and other pilgrims. We're going to be forming a community that is going to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. We're going to discern God's personal call and his mission for our lives. The church has recommended going to the Holy Land on a pilgrimage for centuries. It's a time-honored tradition and a way of finding out what God is calling you to. So we are going to visit the sites of Jesus' life, his birth in Bethlehem, his childhood in Nazareth, where he performed his miracles at the wedding feast in Cana, the Mount of Transfiguration, the Mount of the Beatitudes, and we're going to walk the way of the cross and visit his tomb in Jerusalem. I could not be more excited. This is also going to be an amazing cultural opportunity. I can't wait to taste incredible Middle Eastern cuisine. I can't wait to sip fresh pomegranate juice and bring home a bottle of olive oil from the Mount of Olives. So if this sounds exciting to you, visit staceysummerow.com/pilgrimage and you can get all of the details and get signed up. I hope to see you there.
Jacob, thank you so much for being my guest on Called and Caffeinated. Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Thank you. What are you drinking today? I saw you had a mug in your hand a minute ago.
Coffee, I'm a coffee drinker. I drink even Turkish coffee, which is way stronger than the regular American coffee.
Yes, it is. I used to work at a Mediterranean restaurant, and we used to have people come in and drink Turkish coffee, and that stuff gets you wired. Can you drink it all day?
Me, yes. People cannot. I get used to it. I drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee every day, but
nice.
I think if you drink it afternoon, it's going to be very hard for you to sleep.
Yeah, but you're drinking it now, and it's 3:30 in the afternoon. So that's pretty impressive. This is how you work so hard.
I get it sometimes the nighttime even. I get used.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Are you a black coffee drinker?
Yes, with some sugar.
Some sugar. Just a little extra boost for you.
Yes, yes. The first thing I ask in the morning is coffee. First thing.
Yes, that's my first thought too.
I don't smoke, so it's the cup of coffee make my day. Start balancing. Yes,
this is why we get along. Is because there's a coffee bond there. The first thing I think in the morning is I always want to go back to sleep, and then I think, but I could have coffee, and that makes it all okay. So I get out of bed and make my coffee. It's my ritual. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. When my wife, she make everyday morning coffee. So she go to drop the kids at school, and she come back. I still on the bed if I'm home. So she make me the coffee. The problem, it's hard to find Turkish coffee when I travel. I travel almost 150 to 200 days a year.
Amazing.
Amazing. Now with COVID, I have a great time to stay with home and kids. I'm very blessed.
Is that nice for you to be able to stay home?
Yeah, for sure. It's it's like the kids are growing and I'm away. So it's like I always feel that something, it's like penance inside me. It's like, something I want to always confess about it for my wife and kids that I'm sorry. I try to make it hard for you. And I think they know how much I love them.
You're a very hard worker, and I'm looking forward to speaking more about all the good work you've done with Nativity Pilgrimage. But I want to ask you the first question I ask all my guests, which is, what calls have you received from God in your life so far, and what has receiving those calls looked and felt like?
It's God, he doesn't give the person only one call or one sign. He insists to change your life and change your heart. Okay? For me, give me too many lessons in my life. First, we had a miracle at home. My mom, she been healed. She needed surgery, and she asked Mama Mary to do miracle for her, to heal her, and that's what happened. So when we grew up in very conservative Catholic Orthodox family, and that was a great sign. So the way how we grew up, that's helped us to to find out our character and God's call in our life. Second, Saint John Bosco, Don Bosco. I grew up with the Salesian in Bethlehem, and how he changed lives for young people and youth. I think that's always was a very strong message for me to become a better person and to do mission work, or God dwells in my life, and that was very important. And third, when I work for the church in Bethlehem, I work with a priest. He's Franciscan friar. His name Father Amjad Sabara, he's today the pastor of Jerusalem Catholic Church. He was, for me, a life example of Jesus. It's very hard to find this kind of priest today, especially, he was exactly, when I see him, I see Jesus. He's very spiritual and he's very forgiveness. You can do anything and he immediately forgive you. It's like Jesus.
Wow.
He's a great example. And the other thing touched my heart and changed me in the Word You Day in the year 2000. The great message from the great Saint John Paul II, when he encouraged young people to become a saint. It's like, what? I become a saint. Yes, it's just live the gospel, live simple life, and you become a saint, and that's it. And I think this is what we see today. It's like soon we're gonna have a new saint, very young, 15 years old Italian boy. And
I love him.
This is what John Paul the second he starts putting in the young people life. You can be a saint just by living the gospel. You don't have to be a superhero or making miracles.
Yeah.
That's how it affect my life too many ways. I become more, I become more human. I become more faithful. I become more helping the others. And I don't mind to sacrifice to give it to the others. And I have a great example in my life that I did. I'm very proud of where I am. I've been helping a lot of my schools in Bethlehem and my churches and a lot of family. And I think this is God's gift for us, for me and for my family, and we have to share it with the others.
Yeah. Yeah. How had you started Nativity Pilgrimage when you went to World Youth Day in 2000 and saw St. John Paul II?
No, the Nativity Pilgrimage, the first time I came to the United States in 2002, and then 2004 I've been with the great priest from the Holy Land. He's in New York, Father Peter Vasco. He ran the Franciscan Foundation for the Holy Land. He's a great friend of mine. And I started going to the United States to speak about the Christian, about the youth in different churches, do mission. But Nativity Pilgrimage, I established it in November 2012.
2012. Okay. Gotcha. So you grew up in Bethlehem. What was that like?
Oh, Jesus, that's amazing. I'm a very friendly person, and, in Bethlehem, even the Christian or the Muslim, we live together as a one family. And, it's just like from my home to the Nativity Church, it's like 5 to 7 minutes walking. In that 7 to 10 minutes walking, you say good morning or how are you, or you give a hug for 50 to 100 people. Just imagine this.
That sounds incredible. That's so different. So it's a very small town, Bethlehem, right?
It is a very small town. Right. I know everybody there. And, especially the old woman, they go outside from the balcony. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And again, this is, I hope that's continue. Even in Bethlehem start changing with the new generation. But this was very, very touchable for me. People, they stand with each other. You can sacrifice to support the others. And this is really great.
Wow, that's amazing. How is the lifestyle there different? So you mentioned that everyone knows everyone. You give 50 or people a hug when you walk out your door. What was how are the living conditions different than here? An American, there's so many people who never travel outside the United States. And I think having that life experience to go experience another culture is so, so valuable. When I went to even England, that's an English speaking country. I lived there for 2.5 years when I was 12 till I was 15. I learned so much, and I learned to be grateful for so much about the United States. And I also learned different ways of being that sometimes in the United States, we really should it taught me to challenge my own country's mentality. So I'd love to hear your perspective on that. Yeah.
To live in Bethlehem and the culture there, it's very friendly, in the wedding and the sorrows, all the community, they share together. So Bethlehem, it's a very small town, and I live in the heart of Bethlehem. We call it the Patriarch Street, the Patriarch Street, which is the Star Street. It's where the patriarchy stand from the car or the horse back in the day, and they walk to the Church of Nativity at Christmas Eve. So that's very famous street. The majority of the people live there. I know them personally. I know their kids. I know the generation, and it's very friendly. It's like if even you go today, Stacy, you can feel you are very friendly, you are very welcome. We have thousands of pilgrims every year, maybe millions actually. So a lot of people, they speak different language. There is a lot of Catholic school more than the public school, because again, Bethlehem considered more as a Christian town. There is Franciscan, Friar, St. Joseph School, all of them very high education. This is where I study. I study at Terra Santa schools. And, a lot of people my age, by then, we play basketball. I was very lucky to be one of the champion team for the West Bank for many times. I play very well basketball. So between the ball activity on the church, that's make everybody in the city knows you very well. And again, it's about how you grow up. But, to live in Bethlehem, it's such amazing. It's responsibility. You can be always welcome strangers. I love that. There is no stranger in Bethlehem. You could not feel stranger in Bethlehem. You have to feel welcomed all the time. This is our responsibility as residents of Bethlehem.
I love that so much. I was a military brat my whole life, and then I've moved every year since college until last year, and please God, let us never move again. But we love where we are. We want to stay in Winchester, Virginia. But I've always been the newcomer. I've always been the new kid everywhere. So it was sink or swim. You always have to make new friends. And I don't know that. I mean, there's a good number of people in in our country who do that, who are always the new kid.
Military, especially.
In where? Sorry.
Military, especially people. Their parents with the military.
Yep, you move every 2 years. But I love that so much, just the concept of the culture being such that no one is ever allowed to be a stranger. You are always welcome. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the food like there? Because I used to work at a Mediterranean restaurant, and I absolutely love Mediterranean food. I'm so excited to go. I'm so excited to experience it. And I'm pregnant right now, so eating is a very important part of my day. Yeah. So what's the food like there? What can you get there that you can't get here?
A lot of stuff. And mainly the food is very healthy. We have a lot of different kind of salad. Rice is very important in almost the lunch time. So it's every meal they have a rice there. This is something. They have a lot of lambs. We
a lot of what?
Lamb.
Oh, lamb. Yes. Okay. Delicious.
So lamb and chicken, that's what the most famous in the Holy Land. And shawarma, falafel everywhere. So the food is amazing. It's very tasty. But let me tell you something. When you go, I will make sure I don't send you to place where they serve food for tourists. I will get you places to serve food for local, and you can see the difference. Okay, so it's like, there is a real, like, it's like here you go to hamburger to eat the burger, and then you go to real good place. They do hamburger. You can feel immediate difference, and this is what we have.
Excellent.
And the food is very healthy, very good, very tasty, very spices. A lot of.
Yeah. Excellent. One of the reasons that I first was attracted to my husband was that I was asking him what kind of food he liked to eat, and he said everything. He likes everything. There's nothing he doesn't like.
That's good.
And I said, I like this guy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I said, we get along. So we're definitely up for any new adventures.
I am very picky with food, and that's why I like to taste the food and make sure. And again, something strange with me, and if we like 3 different restaurants, we don't even try to taste something different. So go always to the same restaurant, order always the same thing. It's like, this is how, I'm very picky when it comes to food. I want to make sure it's clean, good, and tasty.
Tasty is very good. Yeah. Do you serve a lot of like tabbouleh, tzatziki, baba ganoush, caponata, scordalia, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's exactly. The whole Mediterranean, including Greece and Turkey, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Palestine, we serve kind of very close plate. But, the one you mentioned, especially tabbouleh, it's very famous in Lebanon. Hummus, baba ganoush, all this. This is like, you can see it everywhere, and it's amazing. There's places that really serve the real food. It's authentic. It's great.
That sounds incredible. My mouth is watering right now because I can remember.
The kebab, the chicken or beef kebab, or that's really tasty. Or lamb kebab, which is you never taste.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I'm excited.
The good one, they mix it. They put like 80% lamb and 20% beef. They mix it, the lamb kebab, and this is like the best.
That sounds fantastic. Well, all right. Well, 2022 can't come soon enough. I'm going to be releasing this episode the day that I announce that, or soon after I announce that we'll be doing a pilgrimage, or I will be leading a pilgrimage with Nativity Pilgrimage, which is so exciting, so wonderful. I want to talk about Christians in the Holy Land. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that later. First, let's just talk about, if you don't mind, a pilgrimage versus a vacation. What's the difference?
It's huge difference. There is no relation. Okay, vacation is a place where you go to have comfortable time, to enjoy fishing or relaxing, or just try to be away from your typical life, to take
Get
something.
Away.
Pilgrimage, it's more to go and search and seek. You leave your comfortable homes not for a better place, for seeking for the Lord, or Mother Mary, or the saints, in the footsteps of the saints. But all of them is going to lead you to the cross and to Lord. So there is a huge difference. Pilgrimage, it's a place where you go and do sacrifice, and you go and penance for your mistake. And we know the pilgrimage, the 3 main high religious, they have pilgrimage. With the Jews started, and then Christian and Muslim, they go to Mecca. But for us, the Christian, our focus in Jerusalem. Now, for sure, we have different holy sites, but we focus on the place where the Lord that resurrects. That's our target. And we know Jesus himself, he was a pilgrim. That's what the gospel told us, The gospel told us that Jesus and the Holy Family, they pilgrimed to Jerusalem at least 33 times. And let me tell you something. The pilgrim, you go to place higher to seek, even if it's lower. If you are in Galilee, you go to Jerusalem, okay? You said, I'm going down to Jerusalem. But the gospel told us they going up to Jerusalem because it's higher place where you seek God.
I see. Wow.
So pilgrim, it's a person who built relation with God, who seek to have God in his life. Vacation, it's a place where you can go and enjoy your time. This is totally different. Pilgrim, they go and do hard work by walking and praying to target their goal, which is the Lord and relation with the Lord. And the pilgrim in general, it's totally different than pilgrimage. I mean, the vacation. There's nothing except just to go on plane. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that idea that you're moving towards something rather than moving away from something. It's time that you are giving to the Lord rather than time that you are sort of taking for yourself.
It's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, you said?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
The pilgrimage is thanksgiving to the Lord for the gift he gave you, first of all, life, and then whatever you have in life.
Yeah. Have you seen a lot of... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can describe the pilgrimage in thousands of words, great experience to everybody. But again, the main thing, it's you go see God. You want to have that closer relation with the Lord. That's the main thing on the pilgrimage. Mm-hmm. How you do it, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen a lot of examples of people kind of coming to an understanding of maybe their higher mission and their purpose and what they're called to on pilgrimage?
It is, and I experienced in my life with Nativity, especially even before, thousands of cases. Like, let's say, Stacy, you want to go on pilgrimage, and your sister, you invite her. You don't have a roommate, and you want your sister or your friend to go with you. Okay, she's like, okay, what I should do in Israel? Okay, let's go and see. So you go as a believer. And you go see God. But the problem, or actually the good surprise, not the problem, the good surprise from your friend or your sister, she will come back more believer than you. Because during the pilgrimage, that's where God, he can touch your heart. Pilgrimage anywhere, it's amazing. But pilgrimage to the Holy Land, it's the most what you can search or you can seek. Just imagine yourself. That's what I talk to, I will tell you how we prepare the pilgrims versus the vacation people. Just imagine yourself now and just you reading the gospel or Father, he preach about it when you are sitting around the holy tomb of Jesus. And you can immediately feel the Lord, he talked to you. Or if you are sitting on a boat in Sea of Galilee, and I do Mass on the boat. So it's like it's going to be very, very historical time, very, very spiritual time. But just imagine you are on the boat and then you close your eyes and you remember what Jesus did with the wind. This amazing feeling, you don't get it in anywhere. This is only happen while you are in the pilgrimage in the Holy Land. And let me tell you another very important thing. We might read the gospel 1,000 times in our life, okay? Every Sunday, every day, we practice the gospel. But if you've never been in the Holy Land, it's like you don't totally understand it. Because I can explain to you the example of Good Shepherd, but if you go to the shepherd's field, you have an idea how things goes, what God he means by 2,000 years. And this is very important. So there's thousands of good example to be on pilgrim and how it's going to change your life, because it will change your life.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Wow. I'm so excited. Yeah. I love the celebrating Mass afloat on the Sea of Galilee. That is really, really exciting. What are some of your other, so obviously Bethlehem, you go and you see where Jesus was born. What are some of the other places that, I know because I have an itinerary, but I'd love to hear from you because you're the native here.
Okay.
What are some of the best places?
Three sites I make sure every time I go to Holy Land I want to visit. Mount of Beatitude, where the Sermon of Christ happened.
Beatitudes, you said, Mount of Beatitudes?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a great place, very spiritual. And again, for me, it's pilgrimage when I talk to God. You know, even if I'm in my home, I want to talk to God. And the atmosphere, the mountains there, it's everything. It's give you that feeling.
You're literally on a mountain and you're looking out. You're ascending to the mountaintop and you're looking out and you're hearing God speak to you right where he said, you know, these amazing, timeless words.
Immediately you're going to listen to him, believe me. If you are a believer, if you seek God in your life, you're going to listen to him direct. You don't listen that words from your priest or your guide when they explain to you. You hear it from God, maybe through their voices.
Wow.
So it's going to open your heart to accept the Lord more. The other place, very important for me, it's the Transfiguration, Mount of Tabor. You know, when Jesus, he be away from the Gospels and he show up for John with Moses and Prophet Elijah. I mean, this is very important minute. And it's amazing mountain. It's amazing. Again, same way. It's in the Holy Land. There's two different type of area. You know, so it's like you're gonna start the pilgrimage in very comfortable zone, which is the north part, and then when you go to Jerusalem, it's more traffic. So the spiritual, how we start the pilgrimage, we start in the north to let the people understand our way, which is Jesus' way. Our way is to cross. You know, we're the most holy place for the pilgrimage when you go in front of the tomb of Jesus, and you know it's empty tomb. So this is the most holy place. After you finish the Station of the Cross, you go to the Holy Sepulchre. This is the boom. This is the point. This is what we are focused on about. And this is what we want every pilgrim to experience.
Yes.
You know? So
the Via Dolorosa, the way of sorrow.
It's amazing. Yeah, wait to the cross and then end it with Mass at the Holy Tomb of Jesus. That's the point. So we work with the pilgrims for 6 days to prepare them for that moment. So we start more quiet in the north, you know, focusing. It's like more the pilgrimage. You can call the pilgrimage as on the street retreat. Okay, or retreat on the wheel. You know, it's like every step you stop and you get your food, which is the spiritual food, and you jump on the next phase, which is you don't get it on the retreat.
Right.
You know, again, you know, I've been talking to thousands of pilgrims, and I think it does change life. It does. You must get back home with something.
Yeah. And even, you know, I hope that this conversation is inspiring a lot of people to really consider coming to the Holy Land with me, with your company in 2022. But I know for myself, I hope so too. And I'm so excited. I know it's going to be life-changing for me. If I could only go one more place before I die outside of the United States, it would be the Holy Land. That's been on my bucket list. But it makes me think too, back in 2015, just in my own life, I went to Italy, and that was a life-changing experience for me. And I made it into a pilgrimage of sorts. It was a vacation, but I stopped in churches every day. I went to Mass as often as I possibly could. And I used that time for it turned into this time of quiet prayer and reflection. And there was something about stepping outside of my daily life and being in completely new surroundings. I had known my husband for about 4 months at that point, and we had been dating for 2 months. And while I was in Italy, I just remember sitting on this mountainside and writing in my journal. And I had a glass of wine there, and I'm sitting and overlooking these beautiful mountains. And I'd just been to Mass, you know, a little earlier that day. And I was just reflecting, and something in my heart just clicked. And it was just this understanding and this knowledge that I'm going to go home and I'm going to marry John. And that's going to be, it was this deeper piece that I don't know that I would have come to that realization so quickly. if I had just been going through my daily life, because travel looks expensive, right? You look at it and you see a big number and you're
Correct.
like, whoa, it's a long way. And you think, oh, well, why can't I just do something like this at home? And the answer is because you have to step outside your daily life. You have to invest something. But every experience that I've had traveling, it has been worth it more than the dollars I've spent. I've regretted tons of stuff I've bought, but I've never regretted anything that any money I've ever put toward travel. And I believe that down to the depths of my soul, because that trip, that trip I took before was thousands of dollars, but I wouldn't trade a day of it. I wouldn't trade a single experience. And it really does have a value beyond what you can, what the actual dollar amount that you spend. It really does change your life. So it's a very worthy investment in my opinion. And I love that your goal at Nativity isn't just to provide this, this wow experience, but to actually provide an experience where God is going to be able to work in your heart and transform you and change you. That's really exciting, because that's the internal, that's what my podcast listeners are seeking when they tune into my podcast. It's all about hearing God's calls for your life and about that inner transformation and about finding that life that you're meant for and finding that peace, and that's, before you and I ever met, I wanted to do an episode on pilgrimages, because I think, it's this time-honored tradition that the church has always recommended to people, or at least since like the Middle Ages, I think.
You're totally right. Again, this is going to be, it's worth every penny. And again, it's, it's not only to meet God, to meet new people in your life. And this is, again, it's very important. You meet stranger people, you become friends. And guess what? You will become apostolic for the Lord. Because everywhere where you talk about your pilgrimage and your experience, you're going to already encourage other people to have this experience. And this is the good about it. It's like you just invest in yourself, you invest in the souls of the others.
Yes. Wow. And you invest in your future self too, because
it is, for sure. It's all about yourself in the end of the day to see what you gain. You gain a lot. You become a better person. If you are a pilgrim, you become a better person, no doubt.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Can you talk about the situation of Christians in the Holy Land? This was something that was very moving for me when you first invited me to lead a pilgrimage. And I know you have a passion for providing for your family and your friends and all of the people that you love back in Bethlehem. So tell me more.
Oh, Jesus, I can speak 2 days for this. Okay. The Christian in the Holy Land in general, we go through up and down through the century. And remember, we are the faith holder. With the God and the disciple from the Holy Land, the faith is growing. And that's why Jerusalem cross, it's 5 crosses. The big one is Jerusalem, and how our faith spread to the 4 corners of the world from Jerusalem. So the presence of the Christian in the Holy Land, it's very important. Not only for them, it's for us more. Like, for you, for any Catholic or Christian all over the world. They are the safeguard for the Holy Site. They are the witnesses for the truth. Just imagine this. They are the witnesses for the truth. Without them, we don't have the real site, for example. They protect us. They tell the church where's the real site happened. When after 1313 AD, when Constantine, he legalized the Catholic or the Christian faith within the Roman Empire, his mother, Helene or Saint Helena, she went to the Holy Land, and the local people tell her where they used to meet to practice the faith, over in Jerusalem, over in Bethlehem, over everywhere. So this was very important. And I think this is one of the most important thing, that to know that the Christian presence is very important. That's why, for example, the church, they do collection for the Holy Land. They do collection not for anywhere else in the world, Through the persecution during the century, the number dropped down in very dangerous level. Imagine today in the Holy Land, we are below 1.2%.
Wow.
Of population.
Wow.
So their presence today, it's more important than any time before.
Is it primarily Muslim controlled?
There is two parts of the Holy Land. When we call it the Holy Land, we talk about Israel and Palestine. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you live in Bethlehem, you are Palestinian with Palestinian ID. If you live in Jerusalem, you are Palestinian with Israel ID. If you live in Nazareth, you are maybe Arab with Israel ID. So the Christian, they mainly stay around three major cities, which is Bethlehem, Jerusalem, and Nazareth. I think the majority in Nazareth and the whole Galilee, we call it the Galilee area. Then it comes to Bethlehem and then Jerusalem. So our presence in little town around the major three cities. This city, it was once a time full Christian. Like Bethlehem, it was like 95% Christian 7 years ago only. Today,
wow.
We are struggling to become 20% in Bethlehem. Most of these people, the Christian community, they work in business related to pilgrims. Okay, so they serve pilgrims either by working in hotel, restaurant, or guiding the pilgrim, or working in workshop to create the beautiful olive wood or jewelry. Mm-hmm. So they mainly stay connected to the pilgrim, and that's why I told you you're always going to feel welcome in Bethlehem, because mentality,
I love that, yeah.
The Christian, they go mainly, they have high education, we have great Catholic schools back in the Holy Land, and thanks be to God, with the support from people around the country or around the world, let me see it, that almost most of the Christian, like 90% of the Christian students, they go to Catholic school. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we don't pay much, we pay like $500 per year sometimes. Wow. Which is pretty good. Yeah, the Franciscan school especially, they are all over. They have thousands of students, Christian and Muslims. And this is what, the Christian, their presence is very important. Now they go through very complicated situation, because since February there's no pilgrims because of COVID-19. And I feel very bad. Thousands and thousands and thousands of these people, they have no job today, no support, And in the Holy Land, there is no, here, for example, and this is why, we talked before, they don't have health insurance system. So there's no health insurance. They don't have unemployment. If you're employed, that's it, done. Nobody can give you any penny, except if you go to the church or a few organizations, they might support with food or some bells. Mm-hmm. So now it's one of the worst time for the Christian, and we pray that the vaccine is going to be out soon, and we'll get back the pilgrims or the work for the people on their feet. The most affected area today in the Holy Land between Israel and Palestine, it's Bethlehem, because Bethlehem, almost 40% of the people work with pilgrims, and that's going to affect almost 80% from the income for the city.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's very dangerous. We are in a very dangerous situation. We've never been there.
Wow. So for Nativity Pilgrimage, your company, you specifically have, correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that specifically you have Christian tour guides, you stay at Christian-owned hotels, you eat at Christian-owned restaurants, you have the opportunity to shop for goods crafted by Christian artisans. Is that all? That's kind of how you give back specifically, right?
The mission of Nativity Pilgrimage, first and the most important, it's to increase awareness about the Christian in the Holy Land, and help people to seek God in their life. And we do that by providing the highest spiritual quality pilgrimage. I always, people, they said the highest quality. I said the highest spiritual quality pilgrimage. Other than that is just tour or vacation. And I want them to experience the Christian families in the Holy Land. And that's why in most of our pilgrimage, we try the maximum to use the Catholic hotels or owned by, if there's no option, okay? If there's no option, we go to other hotels owner, but we try to find hotels owned by Christian people. We try to hire the Catholic drivers or Christian. In the Holy Land, let me tell you something very important. When we say Christian in the Holy Land, we under the umbrella of everybody. So it's like you could not say I'm Catholic in the Holy Land. You say I'm Christian. Because there's few Muslims. So it's like here different. When you introduce yourself, you said I'm American Catholic speaker. But for us, we said no, I'm American Christian speaker. So this is how it works. Because the word Christian, there's different denomination in the Holy Land. The majority it's the Catholic, between Greek Catholic and Roman Catholic, which is the Latin. And then the Orthodox, they are big, and there's several branches under the Orthodox. There's Greek Orthodox, Armenian Orthodox, the Syrian Orthodox. The Syrian Orthodox, this is they still speak the first language of God, the Aramaic. My dad is Syrian Orthodox. And again, there's Coptic. So it's in the Holy Land. I'm Coptic, I'm Syrian. No, we said I'm Christian. And this is what we're trying to provide job for. This is the majority we care about. And this is the people that give you the right place to get the pilgrimage. It's like I was, one of the reasons, let me open Nativity. I was at the Holy Sepulchre Church, and there is a Jewish guide. He speaks to a group from Philippines, and they told him this is where Jesus, or this where you believe Jesus, he crucified, dead, and rose. It's like, and I look at him, I tell him, you should respect the place. And in a very nice way. And the people, they told me why. I tell them, he should respect the place. That's it. I don't want to go involved on this. And then I decide, no, I want to open this Catholic tour company with Catholic value. When you have a value, you're gonna process the value, and you're gonna make your goal to the value, which is it's very important. It's very important. A lot of Catholic company here in the country, they never have a tour guide Catholic. They never experienced the Catholic faith in the Holy Land, and this is very, very important.
And you have all the inside scoop because you're from there.
I mean, I cannot, if I believe in something, I want to deliver. If I don't deliver, that means I lie. I lie to myself before I lie to the people. Very unacceptable from me, to myself first. I'm very proud for what we did as a Nativity Pilgrimage within 4 or 5 years in business. We started in 2012 in November. Basically, the first pilgrimage was in 2014. Because of Gaza-Israel war, we stopped in 2015, we get back in 2016. Within 5 years or 4 years, take 2020 off, in 4 years I became the biggest Catholic tour company in the country. And I think you can believe why. First of all, God blessing, hardworking, promise and delivered, whatever we promised, we delivered, and marketing, word of mouth from people, testimonial, and this is what's make it big. Now, for sure, when I came, I have a strategy and I change it. Like, I want to provide good price for people to experience all that. I look at all the competitors, all the people they provide, the people, and I look at it, there is gap almost 1,500 to 2,000. Difference, I can sell the tour.
That's a big difference.
And that was a
Yeah.
huge success for me to focus on that. In the beginning, people, they don't believe. Like, when you used to go to Holy Land 9 days or 10 days for 5,000, they see it online. And then somebody promoted 3,000, 3,500. It's what's wrong?
Yeah.
It's wrong. So one else is like, it's become now, we schedule for this year over 200 groups.
Well, I'm super excited. Is there anything else that you want to share just about the mission of Nativity, or what you would like Americans to know about, the country of your birth?
I want them to experience. I don't want to tell them about it. So I want them to be there. It's. I think every Christian has to experience the Holy Land at least once in his lifetime. And give himself or herself the place where they can open the door of their heart to accept the Lord. And see how the Holy Land is going to be a huge difference in there. And this is what I believe, I don't want to talk a lot about the pilgrimage. I want to make it surprise. But, one of the very important things, when you go with Nativity, you are totally secure, because we know with whom we work, we totally protected. Even the health insurance we provided include our package. So
Wonderful.
People, they don't have to worry. And again, we're looking to see you and with people in the Holy Land. And let me tell you something. In January, I think I will be there. So it's like I will do my best to be there at least a couple of days with you and your group.
That would be wonderful. That would be really, really fun. Can you address one really quick thing? And I have to go in a second because my sweet little daughter, I hear her crying.
Yeah,
so we have to wrap it. I'll go grab her, and maybe she'll get a little camera time in a second. But security in the Holy Land, I know that's a big thing for foreign travelers, potential concern. I want to tell you something. I might be scary to walk in Houston at night downtown, but not at the Holy Land at all. I know very well. I travel a lot. Both sides, the Palestinian and the Israeli, they work hard to protect almost 20% from their income, which is through the tourism. That's why the Holy Land is extremely secure for pilgrims. Not secure, extremely. Again, something could happen anywhere, but you never ever, the tourist that's been under attack in Israel or in the Palestine or even in the Holy Land. It's a different region, right? It's the Gaza Strip, is that right?
The Gaza Strip, it's very away from us, but even now it's very quiet. And again, let me tell you something. Even, our terms and condition on the brochure, which is people, they can lose maximum up to 60 days, only $100. But this is not the issue. The big issue, because I'm local, I don't hear the news. I know the news. I have family there, I have friends there, I have my worker there, my team there. If I feel it's unsafe, I will reschedule the group. Even if you are on the plane, I will get you back. It's like I work, the most secure thing, it's the most important thing, is your safety, and I done that. I done that. Let me tell you something. In March 4th or 5th, actually, I have a group going from Wisconsin to Italy. I get them outside the plane because there's COVID there, which is a lot of them, they don't care. I said, no, I care. And I convinced the priest to take the group back, and we reschedule it for next March. Again, financial, it doesn't matter to me. I care about the human being. I care about their faith and how we can help them to become a better pilgrims.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all the good work you do. I'm so excited to partner with you and Nativity Pilgrimage. It'd be so great to meet you in person.
Thank you, Stacy. You mean a lot to us. And again, I think people, when we put the brochure out, they have to sign up very quick because it's going to be boom. We're going to pull it very quick.
That's what I'm praying for. I cannot wait to meet all the people who are coming. I'm such a people person. I cannot wait to have coffee and cocktails and all that good stuff with people in the Holy Land and pray with everyone. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
With my pleasure. God bless you, Stacy, and, bless your family.